Good evening, everyone. I am Priya Tihiliani, the Interim Superintendent of Schools, and I want to thank you so much for being here with us today for our first Family Forum. I am so excited to be here, so honored to be a part of the Brockton community, and I really appreciate those of you who were able to come out tonight. I know it's a super busy time of year and busy time of night, and for those of you who are tuning in from home, it's so great to be able to address you as well, and I just want to let you know that this is the first of many opportunities I want to have to meet families and to meet the community. So we have set up these forums, but my hope too is in the future to be able to set up ones geographically, to perhaps even leverage your own open houses and different events at your schools to be able to meet all of you. But I do appreciate you giving me this first opportunity to say hello. So it has been a wonderful start of the school year so far, and I did just want to give you guys a little bit of information about me so that you know who I am and why this work is so important to me. So I actually did start out as an English learner student. So at home we did not speak English. We spoke a language other than English, so I actually learned English at school. And that is what made me decide I wanted to be a teacher, because I had teachers who really went above and beyond in order to make sure that I had what I needed. Even though they didn't have a playbook at the time to follow, they made sure that I had what I needed, that they worked above and beyond and overtime to make sure that I was successful. And that wasn't just in the early grades when I was first attaining the language, that was all throughout, because we know that language acquisition is a lifelong journey. And so I really just had such an appreciation for my K-12 teachers. And that's why I decided to become a teacher. I came up to Boston from the South to go to Boston University. And then I did my student teaching in the Boston Public Schools, where I taught for 15 years before becoming a school-based administrator and then a district-based administrator. So I was an executive director, an EL instructional specialist, and an executive director and the assistant superintendent, so all in the Office of English Learners. So again, you know, as an English learner myself, this was definitely one of my passions, is to support those students the way I had been supported. And so that is what led me into administration. Then I spent the last few years as the superintendent of the Everett Public Schools, and now I'm here as the superintendent of the Brockton Public Schools. And I'm so excited to be here. This is the vision of the Brockton Public Schools. This pre-existed me, but what I love about it is that it really speaks to me as an educator, because it is about providing equitable access to rigorous instruction, to celebrating our diversity, and to promoting positive relationships with our students. And again, I feel like all three of those things were the things that made me successful in school. So I feel really lucky to be part of a system that values those things as well, and makes that such a part of the fabric of what we are doing, so that we can help our students reach those high levels of academic and social emotional learning. So we do have a literacy proficiency commitment, actually not just literacy, it's ELA and math. So we are doing a 5-year journey towards 90% proficiency for all of our students for ELA and math. So this has been something that the team has been working on for the last 2 years, and we now have 3 years to go towards this goal. And I think it's really wonderful that this goal has been set, because I think it's so important for us to really all be focused on where we want our students to be, and really be setting that North Star for what we want them to achieve. And literacy especially is our focus, because we recognize that reading is a civil right. Reading is what allows our students to gain independence, to be, you know, members of society, and it really is the gateway to them achieving all of the things they want to achieve. I know that that was, again, the most difficult part for me, was once I was able to speak, was then obtaining the reading and the writing skills. And so really focusing on that for all of our students is something that all of the educators in the Brockton Public Schools are making sure is a priority. And so for our pre-K to 5 educators specifically, this is our instructional priority. So our goal is to use information on the strengths and growth areas of our students so that we can plan and facilitate high quality instruction. We want to use complex texts and build foundational literacy skills, oral language and writing, so that we can focus on the growth of all of our students and narrowing those gaps that do exist for our multilingual learners and our students who are on IEPs. So as far as what our students are going to be learning in pre-K to 5, I won't go through all of these specifically, and this presentation will be posted on our website as well. But I just wanted to give you kind of an intro into what happens in K to 5. But also, there is a working link in these slides that will take you right to the DESE curriculum frameworks, but not just the frameworks, it actually takes you to family guides where you can see from a family perspective what your students are going to be learning, and they actually have them in multiple languages. So that is a screenshot of the fact that you can click on that and you'll be able to see not just K to 5, but you'll be able to go to your child's specific grade so that you can see what they're going to be focusing on at school. And so in pre-K to 5 for math, we are working on number sense, on our students learning how to reason abstractly and quantitatively, learning how to construct arguments. That's an important thing, not just in ELA, but also in math and in all of our subjects. So we want our students to become critical thinkers and learn how to reason through problems. Model with mathematics. We want them to be able to use tools strategically, and also to be able to attend to the precision of math. Also in ELA, we want our students, again, to build those foundational skills. We want to make sure that they are engaging with grade level texts, and we actually have a lot that are here today, so thank you to those of you who are here. I hope if you didn't get to grab a book on your way in, please do on your way out. We really do want to encourage our students to be reading for pleasure. And so we also want them to learn how to write as a way of, again, offering and supporting opinions and providing evidence, demonstrating their understanding of what they are reading, and conveying real and imagined events and experiences. So not just the nonfiction writing, but also the creative writing and fiction writing as well. ELA is also a great place for our students to obtain cultural knowledge and to be able to read texts that are culturally sustaining, and learn about other cultures and also learn more about their own culture. So we definitely make sure, and if you look at those texts that we provided over there, we are trying to demonstrate and celebrate the diversity that comes with all of our students. We also want to have ample opportunity in our classes for students to engage in dialogue. So speaking is really important, and I'll talk a little bit later about some of the things you can do at home to support your students' learning. But one of the biggest things you can do is engage them in conversation. That is the most important, talking about their day, talking about what they're learning, asking follow-up questions. And so these are the same things that we want to do at school to make sure, what they're learning, but also to reinforce what they're learning. And then, of course, no ELA class is complete without grammar and mechanics and learning how to do all of that fun stuff as well. So here are some of the themes by grade that we focus on in science, technology, and engineering. And also the skills. So not just the themes, but what are we really focusing on skill-wise. And again, a lot of these things look the same from content area to content area. So asking questions, developing and using models similar to mathematics, planning and carrying out investigations, interpreting data, constructing explanations, designing solutions, and again, engaging in arguments from evidence. That's in all different subjects, and obtaining, evaluating, and communicating. And then in history and social science, you'll see the arc of learning from grades pre-K to 5. It starts a lot with the more general learning how to live together and work together. And then it goes up to learning the roles and how we all kind of function as society, up until then in grade 2 when you start moving to geography, the world geography, then Massachusetts, then North American geography. And then in grade 5 is when we start looking at history. but also a huge part of your child's week every week, not above and beyond the academics, is the other opportunities that they have during the week. So physical education and health are very important, and they receive those opportunities weekly. We want to make sure that our students are focusing on their physical well-being, also expressing creative ideas through art and general music, so being able to have those opportunities. Of course, being able to have library time so that they can explore all of the different texts that we have and really start to explore the world through reading. And then also one of the things that I really applaud the school district on is their implementation of the Character Strong curriculum. So it's so great to come here and see how this has been done, and I applaud all of the school leadership, the district leadership, and the teachers for ensuring that this is a focus for all of our students. And so in K-5, we're focusing on building that social emotional learning competency, and your students will be walking away with 3 important outcomes: to be strong, to be kind, and to be well. And as I mentioned, we are very committed to making sure that we are supporting our multilingual learners. We provide a multitude of programming in the district to ensure that we are providing the support that our students need. And it is so great to now be, so many years ahead in the world of education. Back when I was doing this, we didn't have the playbooks. The teachers didn't have all of the resources that they have now. So it's really great to be able to support our English learners and our multilingual learners with all of the different programs and resources that we now have, including the dual language programs. So I think it's really important too, not just to be focusing on learning English, but also to be retaining your native language and developing another language if possible. And then for our students who are on IEPs, we've worked very hard to make sure that our special education educators are collaborating with our general education educators so that our students have access to all of the same opportunities and educational standards-based curriculum that their peers do. We are always striving for the most inclusivity in our classes to ensure that our students have those opportunities. And then engaging with families, that is an incredibly important part of what we do. And we recognize that our families are our children's first teacher. And we very much value your partnership, your engagement. You know your children. And while we know education, you know your child. And we want to be partners in this work so that we can support you and you can support us. I know the elementary schools are wonderful at making sure they have relationships with the parents, but I also just encourage families to, if you have concerns, to reach out to your teacher, to reach out to your school leader. They want to hear from you. They want to be able to support you and your student. And just in thinking about some of the things that you can do at home with your child, is to end the day on a positive note. So make sure that you are talking with them. I know what it's like to be a parent and you ask your child, how's school? And they say fine or good, and that's it. Or I ask and I hear a lot about recess, but not much about, what happened in their actual class, but who got the ball during, basketball and he didn't get passed to and all that stuff. But I try to focus on too, what have you learned? Tell me about your classes. What are you reading? And again, just following up with multiple questions to make sure that they're talking to you. Allowing your students to develop independence. So creating systems where they are getting up and getting ready on their own, where they maybe have a checklist of what are the things I need to do in order to be ready for the school day? What are the things that I need to pack in my bag? So really just developing that independence is a learning opportunity for your students. Also, talking to your students when they are experiencing emotions. That is what we're doing with our social emotional learning curriculum. So making sure to really talk to them about how they're feeling and help them with developing strategies to manage, to express their emotions and manage them. And they can also talk to you about what they're learning in school about how to do that. I've seen a lot of really great tools being used at the schools for how to, express your emotions, or how to take a deep breath, or how to do counting exercises in order to kind of, restabilize yourself. So ask them what they're learning and how they're learning how to manage their emotions at school, and that may be good tools to use at home as well. Also, of course, we want to encourage physical activity as much as possible, less screen time as much as possible. I know it gets harder when it gets colder outside, but as much as we can do that, the better. And also looking for, again, other ways to expand opportunities for learning. So like when you're going to the grocery store, how much do you think this basket of groceries is going to cost? Or even kind of talking them through your own thinking process. I know I stand there and I look at the unit prices of like, okay, what is cheaper? It's not just the main price, it's the unit price. So kind of talking to them about what are you doing when you're looking at all of these things, or when you take out the label, what are you looking for on that label? Again, just engaging them in that dialogue and really talking them through how you're making decisions, what you're thinking about, is such an amazing learning opportunity for them. And then also just setting aside a quiet place to read at home and to practice. And also reading with your child is such an important thing as well. And if you prefer to read in your native language, absolutely do that. What's most important is that our students are reading, that they're gaining an appreciation for literacy and a love of books. And so whatever language you want to read in, read with your child. I think that's the most important thing. And again, it really does develop their literacy and helps us reach our goal of 90% in 3 years. So just some housekeeping. So back to school in Brockton. So if you go to bpsma.org, welcome back. And you can also just go to the website and this will pop up as well. We have a lot of different, need to knows for the school year, important upcoming dates, the handbooks, like different things that you may want to access. Also, speaking of which, we do have our handbooks up and our back to school forms up. So if you go onto our website, actually, if you just go to bpsma.org right now, the forms will actually pop up is the first pop-up, that box that pops up. It'll say click here, and you can go through and actually fill out the forms that your child needs for the start of the school year, and we do have them in multiple languages. So that is something that we really are pushing this year. We want to make sure that we have all of the information that we need for all of our students, and that all of our families know where the handbook is, and are able to, see where the policies are. So we want to make sure that everybody has access to that. And then follow us on social media. So we have Facebook and we have Instagram, so please follow us. Another great way to get notifications on upcoming events or just important information that you may need. When we have a snow day, that's going to be an easy way to find out. So it's a great way to get the information, and also just to see some of the fun and exciting things that are happening in our school district, because there are a lot of them. And then finally, this is also on the website, but I'm going to encourage you, please, 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 to sign up for Brockton School Alerts. So this is a way that you can actually get these alerts right on your phone. You'll get a text message. I get them. It's wonderful. So you text Y or yes to 67587. And you'll get all of the most important updates right on your phone. So it's an easy way to keep connected. You'll get those kind of alerts to say, hey, fill out your form. So you can either go to the website and navigate it, or you'll get an alert right on your phone that kind of takes you to that. So it's a great way to just have quick access to what you need. Also, we have job opportunities available still. So please, if you know anyone or if you are interested as a family member, we encourage you to please apply at schoolspring.com and go to the Brockton Public Schools. We have paraprofessional positions available, bus driver positions available. We're always looking for multilingual speakers as well. So please, 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 we're so happy to have you as part of our Brockton community and our Brockton family, but we'd love to have you as a greater part of that Brockton family in working for the school district. So again, whether it's you or whether you know someone who may be looking, please let them know to look at our job openings. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Again, thank you so much for being here today. What I was hoping to do next is we do have a microphone up here in case anybody has any questions or they have any comments. For the questions, I may not have immediate answers, but I will be able to write them down and make sure that I get answers to you. And then after that portion, we will be, would just love an opportunity to be able to just chat with folks in the audience. So at that point, we'll cut the live feed and we'll just be able to chat, and I'll get to know you better. And I also have my card, so I'd love to provide you guys with ways to communicate with me, because I do want to be able to hear from you all throughout the school year. So thank you so much again for coming. And if anybody has anything they want to say publicly, but we can just talk privately too. So I'm going to give you wait time. That's also an important thing. When you are asking your children questions, make sure to give them appropriate wait time. Let them think through their questions. That's a good thing to do, to make sure that they're thinking about, they have an opportunity to really speak. So I'll give you a little bit more time. All right, well then I'm gonna say good night to the live feed, and I hope you'll stick around. I'd love to be able to, if I haven't gotten to introduce myself personally to you already, I'd love the opportunity to do so. Just a reminder that we do have the middle school forum tomorrow night at 5:30, and then we have the high school forum next Monday. So again, thank you to everybody at home for tuning in. Thank you to all of you for coming. I really am so, again, honored to be part of the Brockton community, and I look forward to working with all of you.